Welcome to Zoe Stories. My wife made me her girlfriend after I cheated. My name is Lucas Carter. I'm 32 years old, a marketing executive in a competitive firm, and, until recently, I thought I had life all figured out. I had a stable job, a beautiful wife, Emma, and a comfortable home. On the outside, we looked like the perfect couple. But behind closed doors, our marriage had been slowly unraveling. I had made a mistake, a terrible one. I cheated on Emma. It wasn't a long-term affair, just a single night of recklessness, but that didn't make it any less of a betrayal. I told myself I could bury the guilt, that it was a moment of weakness I would never repeat. But secrets don't stay buried forever. Emma found out. It wasn't a screaming match or a dramatic explosion. No, it was worse. She sat me down, her expression eerily calm, and handed me my phone, open to the incriminating messages I'd foolishly left behind. My stomach dropped, and I scrambled for words, for excuses, for anything that could undo the damage. But Emma wasn't interested in apologies. Instead, she made an offer. A way for me to prove that I was truly sorry, that I was willing to do whatever it took to fix what I had broken. "If you want to stay in this marriage, you'll have to do things my way," she said. "And that means no more Lucas." Her words made no sense at first. But then she explained. If I wanted to earn her trust back, I wouldn't do it as her husband. I would do it as her girlfriend. At first, I thought I had misheard her. Girlfriend? The word felt foreign in my mouth, absurd even. I let out a nervous chuckle, expecting Emma to crack a smile and tell me she was joking. But she didn't. Her expression remained steady, calm, yet firm. "I'm serious, Lucas," she said, arms crossed. "You broke my trust. If you want to fix this, you have to give up control. No more excuses, no more lies. You'll do what I say, and from now on you'll be Lucy." My pulse pounded in my ears. 100 thoughts raced through my mind, each one more frantic than the last. This was insane. There had to be another way, marriage counseling, a trial separation, anything but this. But why? I managed to croak out. "How does this fix anything?" Emma leaned forward, her eyes locking onto mine. "Because you took me for granted. You acted like you could do whatever you wanted, without consequences. This isn't just about punishment, Lucas. It's about putting you in a position where you have to listen, to experience vulnerability. If you want to understand how much you hurt me, you're going to have to change." The weight of her words settled over me like a stone. I had hurt her, badly, and she was offering me a way to make things right. But was I willing to go through with it? I swallowed hard, my throat dry. The idea of giving up my masculinity, of being dressed and treated like a woman, made my stomach churn with a strange mix of fear and something else, something I didn't want to name. I tried to picture myself as Lucy, but all I saw was humiliation. What would people think? What would my coworkers say if they ever found out? The mere thought made my skin crawl. And yet, the alternative was losing Emma. I had already betrayed her once. If I refused, I'd be proving that I wasn't willing to do whatever it took to fix this. I took a shaky breath and met her gaze. "If I do this, will you forgive me?" Emma's lips curled into a knowing smile. "We'll see." The days that followed were a blur of doubt, panic, and desperate rationalization. I kept telling myself that Emma couldn't be serious, that she'd cool off, and we'd find another way to fix things. But every time I looked at her, I saw the quiet determination in her eyes, the kind that told me there was no backing out. I thought about confiding in someone, but who could I turn to? My best friend, Jake? He'd laugh me out of the room. My brother? He'd probably punch me for even considering something so ridiculous. And my parents? No. That wasn't even an option. I was alone in this. The first test came sooner than I expected. Emma called me into the bedroom one evening and handed me a neatly folded set of clothes, a soft pink dress, a matching set of lingerie, and a pair of heels that looked impossible to walk in. My stomach nodded. "I want to see you as Lucy," she said simply. I hesitated, my body stiff, my heart hammering against my ribs. "Emma, this is what you agreed to," she interrupted, her tone cool. You said you'd do whatever it takes. Or was that just another lie? The accusation stung. I had already lied to her once. If I backed out now, what would that say about me? I grabbed the dress with trembling hands and stepped into the bathroom, locking the door behind me. Staring at my reflection, I felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff. If I did this, if I crossed this line, would I ever be able to come back? I took a shaky breath and stripped down, feeling exposed in a way I never had before. The fabric of the lingerie was unfamiliar against my skin, soft and delicate. The dress slid over my frame effortlessly, hugging me in ways my usual clothes never did. Then came the hardest part, the makeup. Emma had left everything I needed on the counter, and I fumbled through it, smudging eyeliner, overdoing the lipstick, making a mess of everything. My hands were shaking too much. A knock at the door made me jump. Are you ready? Emma's voice was gentle, but there was no mistaking the authority in it. I swallowed hard, gripping the counter for support. I wasn't ready, but I had no choice. Slowly, I reached for the doorknob and turned it. As the door swung open, Emma's eyes swept over me, her expression unreadable. And then she smiled. Hello, Lucy. Emma's smile lingered as her eyes roamed over me, taking in every detail. My breath hitched, my fingers twitching at my sides. I wanted to run, to rip off the dress, to pretend this never happened. But I couldn't. Her expression wasn't mocking or cruel, it was expectant. She was waiting for me to acknowledge what I had done, to take responsibility in a way that went beyond empty apologies. I forced myself to meet her gaze. Is this what you wanted? My voice came out weaker than I intended, the shame wrapping around me like a second skin. Emma tilted her head. That depends, she said, stepping closer. Is this what you want? I froze.
What?
Of course, I didn't want this, did I? The truth was, I didn't know anymore. The humiliation of standing here, dressed in lace and silk, was undeniable. But there was something else beneath it, something unsettling. A strange sense of surrender. As if shedding the persona of Lucas, even for a moment, had lifted a weight I didn't realize I was carrying. But none of that mattered. What mattered was Emma. I clenched my jaw, nodding. I'll do it, I whispered. Her smile widened.
Good, she said.
Then from now on, you're not just my husband. You're my girlfriend. And just like that, there was no turning back. The next morning, I woke up to find a neatly arranged outfit waiting for me at the foot of the bed. A soft lilac blouse, a pleated skirt, lacy underwear, and a matching bra, along with a note in Emma's handwriting. Time to embrace Lucy. Be ready in an hour. My heart pounded. Last night had been humiliating enough, standing before Emma in a dress. But this was something else entirely. I ran my fingers over the delicate fabric, hesitating. The old me, the Lucas me, wanted to shove it all aside, throw on a t-shirt and jeans, and pretend none of this was happening. But deep down, I knew that wasn't an option. Emma had made that clear. With a deep breath, I undressed and slipped into the lingerie. The bra was unfamiliar, its snug fit a constant reminder that my body no longer felt entirely my own. The skirt brushed against my thighs in a way that sent shivers up my spine, both foreign and strangely electrifying. Then came the makeup. Emma insisted on teaching me herself, sitting me down at the vanity like a patient instructor. Slowly, she murmured, guiding my hand as I traced eyeliner along my lids. Gentle strokes. There you go. I focused on the sensation, the smooth glide of lipstick over my lips, the weight of mascara on my lashes. With each step, I felt myself slipping further from Lucas, further into the person Emma wanted me to be. When she finished, she took a step back and smiled. Look at yourself. I hesitated before glancing at the mirror. The reflection staring back at me wasn't Lucas. It wasn't exactly Lucy either, at least not yet. But it was someone softer, someone unrecognizable. My sharp jawline seemed less defined under the contour, my lips fuller with gloss. The blouse accentuated my frame in ways that made me feel different. Vulnerable. Exposed. You're beautiful, Emma whispered, her hand resting on my shoulder. A lump formed in my throat. Beautiful. I should have felt disgusted, ashamed. Instead, all I felt was confused. Emma's grip tightened as she leaned in. Tonight, we're going out. And you're coming as Lucy. Panic flared in my chest. Emma, I can't. She only smirked. You can. And you will. As I sat there, staring at my own reflection, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't just afraid of what others would think. I was afraid of how much I didn't hate this. The club was louder than I expected. Music pulsed through the air, shaking the floor beneath my feet. Dim neon lights cast shifting shadows across the dance floor, where bodies swayed in hypnotic motion. I gripped Emma's hand tighter, my nails, painted a soft pink, digging into her skin. I shouldn't have been here. Dressed in a sleek black dress that hugged my frame, my legs encased in sheer stockings, and heels that made every step a balancing act, I wasn't just pretending anymore. I was Lucy, and people were noticing. Men's eyes lingered on me as we walked through the crowd, some offering appreciative glances, others something darker. A group of women near the bar whispered amongst themselves, one of them giggling as she shot me a knowing look. I swallowed hard, my throat dry. I felt trapped between two worlds, no longer Lucas, but not quite Lucy. Emma pulled me close, her lips brushing my ear. Relax, she murmured. You're doing great. I wanted to believe her. But then, dude, no way. The voice froze me in place. I turned, my stomach lurching as my eyes met a familiar face.
Jake.
My best friend. His expression twisted in shock, then something like disgust. Lucas? His voice was just loud enough for the people around us to hear. Heat flooded my face. Every instinct screamed at me to run, to disappear,
To deny.
But Emma's hand tightened around mine. I looked at her, calm, unshaken, waiting to see what I'd do. And then I realized this was the moment. I could run. I could laugh it off, make up some excuse, swear to Jake that this was just a joke, just a weird mistake.
Or
I could own it. Taking a deep breath, I lifted my chin and met Jake's stare. No, I said, my voice steady despite the storm raging inside me. I'm Lucy. Jake's expression shifted, cycling through confusion, disbelief, and something else, betrayal, maybe. I braced myself for his reaction, for the judgment, the rejection. But strangely, the fear that had paralyzed me before wasn't as strong now. Because for the first time I wasn't hiding. Emma squeezed my hand, her silent support grounding me. I took a breath, feeling the weight of the moment settle over me. I had spent so much time convincing myself that this was just punishment, just some twisted game Emma had forced me into. But standing here, in the open, dressed as Lucy, I realized the truth. This wasn't just about Emma anymore. This was about me. I had spent my whole life trying to fit into a mold that never felt quite right. Always playing the role I thought I was supposed to.
But now?
Now I wasn't playing a role at all. Jake scoffed, shaking his head. Man, I don't even know what to say. That's okay, I said softly. I'm still figuring it out too. He hesitated, then turned away, disappearing into the crowd. The loss stung, but I wasn't broken by it. Not like I would have been before. Emma leaned in, pressing a kiss to my temple. I'm proud of you, Lucy. Lucy. The name didn't feel foreign anymore. As we stepped onto the dance floor, I let the music take me, let myself move without overthinking, without fear. For the first time in my life, I wasn't running from who I was. I was becoming her. Thank you for joining us on another captivating journey through Zoe's stories. Remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tale. Until next time, keep exploring, keep imagining, and keep believing in the magic of storytelling. See you in the next chapter.